Hi everyone, Andy Pickering here with the Crypto Conversation market sentiment update for this week. As always, the best place to watch this is, of course, on the Brave New Coin YouTube channel. But if you just want to listen on your local podcast app, no problem. You can do that too. Let's just start off with a shout out to Nexo, our show sponsor. If you're ready to grow your wealth with the world's leading digital assets institution, well, you can. And that is, of course, Nexo. You can earn up to 12% on your digital assets with Nexo's high yield savings account. So treat yourself and treat your crypto and treat your fiat with the industry's best crypto and fiat services featuring compounding interest paid out daily. There are 18 available cryptocurrencies, including a BTC, ETH, and Litecoin, and heaps of stable coins. 3 fiat currencies are accepted, the pound, the euro, and USD, and they have up to 375 million worth of insurance on all custodial assets. Top-ups and withdrawals are available at any time, and there are 0 fees for using the Nexo Earn Suite. Want to know more? Just go to nexo.io. That, of course, is spelled Nexo.io. And now it's on with the show. Okay, so if we start off at bravenewcoin.com and our old friend, the Bitcoin Liquid Index, the BLX, Bitcoin price, 48,688. Just kind of, Bitcoin hit 50K, a little bit above that 2 days ago. And now we're just a little pullback, probably expected after a very good performance over the last week. The ELX Ethereum is, 3,000, bit over 3,200. So again, we're just sort of in that no man's land, waiting for Bitcoin to pick a direction. Do we continue the price appreciation, or is there a pullback coming? Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Just looking at Coin 360. Here you go. So looking good. Again, as I say, just have to wait and see for Bitcoin to choose a direction. But let's just keep it moving. As I say, as always, just going to go through some of the quick news headlines that are popping up on crypto Twitter. So let's see what we can find. Now, this actually just dropped about 10 minutes ago. So a little bit soon to assess the full impact of this news. But Morgan Stanley have filed with the SEC, and so those documents are now available, and it appears that they own a large amount of Bitcoin through the Grayscale trust, which is very interesting to see. So the largest of these is reported to be 928,000 shares held by Morgan's Insight Fund. So you can see, if you want to dig into this, these filings are all available at the SEC, which is here. So if you just search the word Bitcoin for and Morgan, you get 31 search results. So these are all the results. I'm not going to go through them all, but this is one example. So if you dig into the report, this is what the report looks like. And yep, sure enough, Morgan Stanley, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And how interesting is that? So, well, I don't know how interesting it is. Reasonably interesting, just another sign of, institutional support for Bitcoin. What else is going on? Well, you've probably seen that OnlyFans, after, last week, half a week ago, they said that they would stop allowing their users to post sexually explicit content. And the reason they gave for this was a pressure from their banking services. So the implication being that, OnlyFans were going to lose their access to banking services if they didn't tone down on the sex content. So it's a little bit, it was a little bit of an unfortunate situation, and there was a lot of speculation that perhaps OnlyFans could move to some kind of crypto payment model as a result. And in fact, I know that one of my colleagues here at Brave New Coin, Adigidas, has been working on an OnlyFans story, which I think we'll be publishing that on Brave New Coin later today. I think he's furiously working on updating it as we speak because, OnlyFans have, they've backed down from this policy change. So they're no longer going to ban sexually explicit material. So here's the OnlyFans Twitter. What do they say? Thank you to everyone for making your voices heard. We have secured the assurances necessary to support our diverse creator community and have suspended the planned October 1st policy change. So, that's sort of it's PR language there, but what they're saying is no change. Get on, keep on with, selling pictures of your butthole for $5 and or keep on buying access to other people's pictures of their nudes. If that's what you're into, no judging. That's cool. Anyway, interesting. Keep them moving. What else? Okay, so Visa. You probably saw that Visa, out of nowhere, they went and bought a CryptoPunk. Amazing. So, so this is the, their announcement from a few days ago. They say that over the last 60 years, Visa has built a collection of historic commerce artifacts, from early paper credit cards to the Zip Zap machine. And today, as we enter a new era of NFT commerce, Visa has purchased CryptoPunk number 7610, and I think they paid ETH equivalent of around 150 grand for that CryptoPunk. So a few different ways to look at it. I do like the way that they put it in the context of historic commerce artifacts, and you think about it, that is exactly right. So we've gone from early, or you could go back to barter and gold and, the history of money, as we all know, but then through to, paper credit cards, Zap machines, ATMs, etc., and now NFTs. So, some people have criticized this for just kind of a naked publicity stunt, which is cheap at 150 grand for the publicity that they got. And look, I'm sure that was part of the decision making, but I think you have to give them credit as well for just, getting on board and, sort of saying that they want to support the NFT creator community, which they do in this blog post that they've written, and Visa News, which is kind of the secondary Visa Twitter account. So they've changed their profile pic to that particular CryptoPunk. So this is the blog post that they wrote, kind of just explaining their rationale. So all fairly standard stuff, just explaining what NFTs are and CryptoPunks. But they make it clear that they do support the NFT creator community and economy, and they see NFTs potentially playing a part in the digital economy. So good endorsement there from Visa. Now, speaking of CryptoPunks, yes, my colleague Adigidas, shout out to Aditya, who I mentioned before, is furiously working on an OnlyFans story as we speak, where he actually published this yesterday, which is kind of an overview of why Visa bought that CryptoPunk. There's the CryptoPunk in question, number 7610. It is female punk, one of only a few. You can see the attributes that it has, and so there's a couple of charts here. You can see the just the volume in CryptoPunk trading has, it took off at the start of this year, but man, in July it really took off, and then this is what's happening in August. It's just taking off again. So if you're interested in learning more about CryptoPunks, this is quite a good deep dive by Aditya, just explaining the background, history, and why CryptoPunks and NFTs are valuable. And So in the kind of the wider, I guess, context of this booming NFT market, the other thing that's really interesting at the moment is the rise of long form generative art, right? And so we've seen a whole heap of different NFT drops, projects based on this new kind of generative art. And yeah, there's a lot of different examples and some quite interesting think pieces, if you like, almost being written. But I think it's becoming very clear that, you know, this kind of new wave of NFTs are super legit and, you know, being taken very seriously by everyone, really, from, you know, from you know, NFT geeks through to the traditional art world, serious art collectors, and yeah, people with obviously too much ETH in their wallets as well. But man, they are going nuts. So here's just, you know, art blocks, of course, you know, some of the projects over at art blocks, and these are just, yeah, good examples of different forms of generative abstract art released as NFTs. There's another one, the Fidenza by Tyler. So this is, Fidenza is what's an algorithm designed to generate generative artworks, and sort of, yeah, out of a random artwork. Just fascinating what can be produced. And again, we are really kind of seeing, it's not so much a new form of art, but it's a new way of producing art. So I guess that is a new form. I think this is a really good take on it by Sue of Three Arrows Capital. So he's replying to this, right? So this guy Nick says, I regret not getting a Fidenza, and just, this is what we mean by Fidenza. This is a Fidenza, right? He says, I regret not getting a Fidenza much more than not getting a CryptoPunk, because many of the Fidenzas are legitimately really pretty artwork. The 8-bit aesthetic, which of course is CryptoPunks, is fun, which it is, but I wouldn't hang it on my wall. And so Azu says, I am bullish on art blocks for this very reason. I'm not a subscriber to the NFT thesis that it's all just flexing. There's a real search for transcendental aesthetics, and generative art looms large as autonomously created beauty. This will hang in modern art museums globally. So yeah, I mean, just very, very bullish on NFTs and generative art. This is good. This is a long piece. It's on Medium. So if I'm obviously not going to go through it here, but you can search it. Yeah, this guy White Rabbit, or just search the title here if you're interested in, because I'll show you, it's long as, but it's basically a history and origin story of all the different NFT projects. And it's fascinating. And it starts off with this timeline, which I thought was really well done. So you can see if we're sort of, you know, we're here now, right? So this is everything that's happened to date, very much mostly in the innovator to early adopter phase. And, you know, so these are all the, you know, colored coins was kind of the first, digital asset NFT style project, and you go through all of these, you know, CryptoPunks back here, and well, you can just see, it just shows how early the NFT movement or asset class is. And so if you want to really dig into the history of it, it's a good read, it's a good resource. What else? Busta Rhymes, of course, famous rapper, I guess. Yeah, almost 4 million followers on Twitter. I'm just using this as an example of, you know, I mean, I could have used so many different sports guys or musicians or rappers, you know, just, or celebrities. Paris Hilton, you know, they're just they're jumping on the NFT bandwagon. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean in a positive way. Yeah, sure, maybe it's a sign that it's a big speculative bubble and it could pop. It probably will. There will be an NFT correction at some point, but that's how these things work. It doesn't mean that there isn't value there, and that value won't come back. It certainly will. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to say it's going to pop anytime soon, but it might. I don't know. My point is, it's just interesting to see how quickly this is being adopted and the interest is growing, but yet how early it is at the same time. And again, it's fascinating to see guys like Buster Rhymes, because, Soldier Boy's another one, right? It's just I don't know, so they get interested in Bitcoin. And so, Buster's been talking about Bitcoin on Twitter for a little while now, switched to the laser eyes meme for his profile pic, and now he wants to do NFTs. So it's it's just a good example of how once the crypto bug begins to take root in your mind, it is undeniable that it's addictive. It's a mind virus. I thought this was interesting, just as we start to close out this episode. Star Atlas, right? So this is just kind of part of the metaverse narrative, which is always really interesting to me. Of course, NFTs are a big part of laying the foundations for the metaverse. So, all kinds of gaming and and blockchain gaming. Particularly. So this is quite an interesting thread on a game called Star Atlas, which you may or may not have heard of, but it's a really ambitious sci-fi blockchain game. So this Twitter thread, not going to go through it, but it just kind of sets the stage for why blockchain games have the potential to really unlock the early stage of the metaverse. And it's built on, Star Atlas is built using the Unreal Engine, which of course is the gaming engine that Fortnite is based on. And I think, was it Mandalorian? I think Mandalorian was filmed on Unreal Engine as well. It's filmed on one of those gaming engines. So this is actually the Star Atlas website, right? So they say it's a grand strategy game of space exploration, territorial conquest, political domination, and more. So just, standard sci-fi stuff there. I do enjoy this website. So, yeah, anything that's got this kind of infinite scroll. It reminds me of, remember the Goldman Sachs blockchain website? They had a website that was a bit like this. So you can see this is, it's a nicely done website. And I think this might just be something to keep an eye on if you're at all interested in sci-fi or gaming, and particularly blockchain gaming, and early versions of the metaverse, all that good stuff. There's a great trailer, so you can watch the trailer if you are interested in that. Just before we do that, and so just at speaking of Star Atlas, I did a podcast. When did I do this? So February of this year with the guys from Multi-Chain Ventures. So they made what's the Tokes platform, which is it's a US cannabis industry platform and crypto ecosystem. But these are also the guys behind Star Atlas, funnily enough, and we talked about that in this podcast. So if you want to hear them talk more about Star Atlas, dig out this past episode. Very much recommend that one. Just finishing off, back to Bitcoin. We haven't heard too much of what's happening in El Salvador for a little while now, but this guy posted a good thread on it. I don't know much about who this guy is. He's a Bitcoin miner. I think he seems to be based in El Salvador, former derivatives trader at Morgan Stanley as well. Anyway, but he's just said, so it's a few important announcements made. So the Bitcoin law goes into effect September 7th, which is coming up 2 weeks away, right? In which case all citizens will be able to download $30 USD worth of Bitcoin free. That's for them to keep, do with it what they will. And then using that app, they'll be able to accept payments in Bitcoin, to run their business or receive payments from their family and friends. Of course, no middleman. And yeah, so of course, this opens up remittance for anyone outside of El Salvador to send it back. Yeah. So, and this is the Bitcoin ATMs. They've been talking about setting up this incredible ATM network on the ground, and it looks like it's happening. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, no major new announcements or developments there, but just, good to see that this is all going ahead, and they appear to be, laying out the infrastructure to make it all happen. So, yeah, something to keep an eye on there. Well, I think that's really it for today's show, folks. Just a quick journey through the wonderful world of crypto Twitter to see what we could find. Be good to keep an eye on what happens with this Morgan Stanley news and see if that has any impact on the market or not. Yeah, be interesting to watch. And shout out to OnlyFans and Digidas. So that piece should be up on Brave New Coin very soon. But that was today's show. Thanks for listening, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe to the Crypto Conversation podcast and whatever podcast app you are using. But for today, we're out of here. Thanks, guys. This was the Crypto Conversation for Brave New Coin. See ya.